What's up guys, welcome back. In the last video we created the ability to show the option widget. Okay, in this video we're going to start working on buying the house. So for example, if I'm not the owner, this will show, right? And then I can click a button to buy the house, right? So let's go back to BPC house. Okay, so here, so if I'm not it show the widget. Inside this widget, no, not this widget, inside of the option widget, buy option widget, let's click this, right? Let's call this buy buy BTN, right? Buy BTN, and let's get an on click event, and we're gonna get our character, make sure it's valid, and then we're gonna get the BPC house, make sure it's valid, and if it is, inside of the BPC we're going to create a new function. What is this? Client by house. Okay, let's delete this, and we can say server by house, right? And then we can say client by house, and on server, and excuse me, switch as authority, and we can say client by house, and then here let's print buying, and then go back to the widget, server by house. Okay, let's check. So go here, show it, buying, boom. And now let's close this. Now what we need to do, we need to get the player, make sure it's valid. Okay, we get the player, make sure it's valid, and then we say excuse me, get player info. Ooh, I forgot, we need to create that. So in the character we need to create a new folder, data, and blueprint we say player info. We need another one, player type, and player name. Okay, so in here, let me look real quick to see what I have. Data, player info, name, last name, picture, county. Okay, so here let's say JC character for the class, and let's get some text. We can say first name, last name, about, and then we can say, we can get a icon, and we can get age, we can get what else do I need? Social ID. Still keep it like that. Now let's make it an integer, age and social ID, and this one will be a texture 2D object reference, And then what else do I had? Picture, county, sociality, phone number, has bank account. Okay, we say player money, and this one is an integer. Bank money, driver license number, you know what, no, this one would be, yeah, I was right. Okay, driver's license number, and then bank account number, and then down here we can say has bank account, it's a boolean, has driver's license, come on, license, and then has house, and for now that's what we're gonna have, and then we're gonna have another one for houses, and then this will be pp house, and this is gonna be an array. I didn't even do this in my original project, but I just thought about it. Okay, houses, because we might allow the player to have multiple houses, so yeah, we need an array. Okay, so player type, for now I'm gonna have 3, civilian, police, and then EMT for now. Okay, and inside of here, let's say player type, and this will be player type, and let's push it all the way to the top. Okay, so by default it's going to be the JC character by default. So here excuse me, in the under player's name I will add 2, say default, and then I get Trey. Okay, so we need a miscellaneous the table for the player info. We can say DT player info and open it up, add 2. First one would be default, second one would be Trey, and then the default is already good. The default, whatever, say 55, put some random number for social ID, bank 200. Default, we don't even need anything in default. And this will be Trey. First name is Trey, last name is Young, whatever. Blah blah blah. Civilian, age 18. This is gonna be unique though. The social ID is gonna be unique. It's kind of like your social security, but this one we're gonna modify it. So player money, we said 200,000, and then in the bank, let's put 100,000 in the bank. License, oh, they should have been a text. Let me go fix it. Driver's license number. Yeah, this needs to be a text. Reason why, it's because your driver's license have numbers on there. So UG, whatever. Bank account number, this is gonna be randomized as well. Okay, so we can close this, close that, go to the character. We need to add two variables, player info, make it, and then say player settings, so replicated, and then player info, and then duplicate this one, say player name, and it will be a player name type, and replicate it as well. So now if we go in construction script, we can say get data table row, and then we get the player info, we get the player name, we set enum to string, because if you don't do that, it's gonna give you a bunch of other numbers that you, or gibberish that you don't need, and plug this up. And by default, I want to control the tray character. Did I move the player setting? Yeah, move it all the way up. Yep, right there. By default, let's control tray and player's name tray. Okay, so where were we? Here, client by house. We say get player info. We're gonna break player info, and we're gonna get player's money. We're gonna see if it's greater or equal to the house money, house info. We're gonna break it to see if the buy price, if we have more money than the buy price or purchase price. If we do, hold B for branch. If we do, we can say, let's print a string, can buy, you are broke. But we shouldn't see you are broke, because I think the house, do we even have, wait, did I do that? Data, yeah, so I did add. How much is it? 100,000. Okay, cool. So we should see you can buy. Yeah, can buy. Okay, now we can buy this house, right? So what we're going to do, we're gonna get player's money. We're gonna say subtract the player's money. We're gonna subtract the house cost from the player money. Okay, and then we're also going to set members, because we want to set the new value, the player's money, to the new value. Okay, so player money, and in here you can check to see if the player's bank has enough money too, like, you know, if so that way it can check either in the bank or on the player. But I'm not gonna do that. So that you would do the same thing. You would just do a check like that. You would check to see if the player bank money is greater or equal to this, and then if it is, you know, you set it, you do this again, and then yeah, you continue like that. So right now I said print string. Let's break this. Let's print the new player's money. And if this is successful, it should say we have 100,000 left in the bank. But in a second, it should say we have 100,000, right? So if I go here, click buy house, now I have 100,000 left because the house is mine. So okay, so now we need to do another check. Okay, and I'm going to show you where we need to do that check. Where is it? The house? Is it the house? No, check for owner. Here we need to do another check before we show that widget. So here we need to move this. Matter of fact, let's disconnect it. Okay. Oh, come on. Because if we are returning, right? And oh, okay. Before we do that, before I get ahead of myself, let's go back to the buy house. After we purchase the house and everything, most importantly, we need to get the house, and then we need to say set member. Okay, we need to set the owner to ourselves because we just purchased the house, right? And then also house owner, make it true. Okay, so now back to here. So this is checking to see if the owner, if we have owner, right? So we can just get this, and it has owner. We're checking to see if we have a house has any owner, and like that. Let's move this up and say true, false, right? Okay, so we need to check it again here. The reason why we check it again, well, if we're the owner, we don't even need to show this. Okay, we can just print string, and we can say you are the owner. Owner, right? And then if it's not, we can check it again. Let's see. Let me see. If not, we boom, buy it. Yeah, I thought so. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, that's what it's saying. You are the owner, right? You are the owner. And no. What I need to do here, down here, we need to check to see if it has owner is true. Get house and get house info, and then we need to break it, and I'm gonna explain to you what I'm doing. If has owner is true, if it's true, if has owner is true, we don't do anything. But if it's not, we do this, right? So first, buy it. Now if it has owner, okay, you are the owner. Let me double check how I did it because that thing was complicated too. Okay, first we're checking to see if we are the owner. If it's not, we're checking to see if it has owner, and then we're checking to see if we are the owner again. Okay. So now we're checking to see if we are the owner. If we are the owner, get the house info. Okay. Ooh, Lord Jesus. We get the house info again. That's the only complicated part, guys, I promise you. And B branch, checking it here, and then I'm going to explain it to you after I finish doing this. What's going on here? Not the owner. Yikes. Okay, let me just do it like that. Okay, let me explain to you. So we check in to see if we are the owner. If we are the owner, it shows this. But if we are not the owner, I think I'm doing it the wrong way. The naming, that's why I'm getting confused. The owner. If it's checking to see if it's equal to this, and then yeah. So we check in to see if this is equal to us, and then we check in to see if we has owner, right? On the false. So let's do it that way. Let's remove this for now. Has owner, right? If it doesn't have the owner, man, I'm overdoing myself right now. Okay, delete. Sorry guys, delete. Okay. This is checking to see if the owner of the house equal to us, the person that's interacting with the house, right? So if it's not, we need to check it again. Right? If it's not, we need to check the has owner boolean. Okay, so now we need to get this, get house info. You know what? Let me go do this. Get house info. I promise you, this is the only complicated part of this thing. Past this here. Okay. Now, okay. We break this, and then we're checking to see if has owner boolean, if it's true on the false, because if we are the owner here, we don't even need to do anything. Now we're checking to see if the has owner is true. Okay. Now if has owner is not true, we need to check the owner again. Okay. And we're checking has owner again here, and we can even do it right here as well. Okay. Now if this is false, we get the house info and we check it again. Jesus Christ. We get the house info, we're checking it again. Now we're checking it again. Not the owner, and then this right here, we remove any widget and then create any widget. House option, yes. Okay. So now we're gonna say get character ref. Let me double check where we're doing it. We're doing it on the false. Okay. Character ref, and then get BPC widget. I know this is confusing, but I'm gonna try my best to explain it to you guys so that way you guys don't get confused. Okay, and then we're gonna say remove any widget, server remove any widget, and then yeah, no, this one was remove interaction widget. Yeah, because I remove the interaction widget, and then we're gonna create any widget. Print string, not owner, and then you are the owner on the top. Okay, let's check if it's working. If it's working, then I will explain to you. Boom, buy house. Okay, you are the owners. Then why excuse me, why I'm still seeing this, you are the owner, because it's going here now. If you excuse me, if you are the owner, I think this needs to go here as well. Buy the house. It shouldn't show you are the owner again. Or I can make my life easier, right? No, because that won't work. Yeah, I can make my life easier and stop overcomplicating things. All right. So if I'm not the owner, I can just get BPC widget. Get BPC widget, and then we can say server remove interaction widget. And then we can say server create any widget. And then we can say buy options. Let me see. No, I need to set this to true. And then, you know what, let me go to buy options. After we click this, I can just say server remove. No. We need this. Get. Oh, no. We can just say remove from parent. And then we just remove ourselves. So, buy house, remove ourselves. And then if we click this, I'm complicating stuff. Check for owner. And then here, break. Has owner. If this is true, if it's false, patch name. Owner. If it's false, we go here. Boom. Owner. Yeah, but why is it going here again? Has owner. It has owner. We go here. If it's not, we go there. And then, excuse me, buy option. Get BPC widget. Remove server, remove interaction widget. Why is it still showing this thing? Lord Jesus Christ. gonna do with that like that? What am I doing to myself? If it's equal to us, see if it has owner, right? If this is the owner, we check it. We get the house info again. Check to see if it has owner is true. Then we do this again. Not owner. Boom. Okay, guys, believe it or not, I spent an hour and a half trying to figure this thing out. And the way I did it the first time, it worked. But I made a simple mistake. And that's what messed everything up. On the buy house right here, we had client. We had it running on the client, but it was supposed to be on the multicast. Okay? So server buy house, client buy house. So now I'm gonna explain the code to you so that way you guys can have the same thing I have. So pretty much it's the same thing that I was doing in my other project. Where is it? Yeah, right here. It's the same thing I was doing, right? But what was happening is the the client or anybody couldn't buy anything because the client couldn't buy it because it was running on the client. Okay, so here, this is what I did. So check for owner again. Okay, so we're doing the multicast check for owner. Okay, so I create uh, a macro to get the character reference. I mean the house information. So on the macro get house. Okay, you can create a macro here. Get house. You get this character. Check to see if it's valid. Then we say get overlapping actor. Right. I get the BP house. For each loop, we call the get house reference from the from the blueprint interface. We check to see if it's valid. If it is valid, we return this. We return the house, and we return the house info. Okay, so we return the house info. So that's the macro for get house info, right? So here we say we break the house info. Okay, we break it. Okay, we get the owner. We check if the owner if the owner of that house equals to whatever character that's interacting with the house. So pretty much ourselves. Okay, so we're checking to see. Now, if it is true, that means we are the owner of this house. I just go here to a print string. So if it is false, well, we're just checking to see if the has owner is true or false. So if the has owner is true, we're pretty much doing the same thing we're doing here, but we're doing it in a macro version. Okay, so same thing, the owner, say, we're checking to see if the house owner is equal to our character. If it is, we return true or false. So we're checking to see the same thing. Whether it's true or not, we still want to check it, because if the owner comes and interact with the box again, well, we just let them know that we are the owner. We don't have to show the widget. But if it's not, then we get the house info, we check it to see if it's true or false. The reason why we're checking it here again is because when we purchase the house, we setting this to true. So when this come, when if somebody who already have a house Like let's say somebody's interacting with the buy area. If this is true, that means this we already have an owner in here. Okay, so it's pretty much the same thing. But if it's false, then we show the widget. We remove the interaction widget. Okay, and then we show the buyer menu. Okay, so on the inside of BPC house again, where we're doing the buy house, after we click that widget, where is it? On the when we click this button, the buy house button, it goes here, and then we get the character, we get the BPC house, and then we call the buy house function on there. Okay, we call the buy house function. And then what I did here, from the character we get the BPC widget, and then we create the, why did I create the interaction widget? Why? No, I don't need to create it, I need to remove it. Remove interaction widget. We remove the interaction widget, and then we also hide the buy menu button. Okay, so and then let me go hit. So here, where we buying the house, we still get the house info. Okay, we do pretty much doing the same thing. We get the character. We get the character. We check in to see if it's valid. If it is, we get the player info. Okay, and then we break it. We get the player's money, and then we get the house info. We break it as well to see if the player money is greater or equal to whatever the house costs. If it is true, that means the player have enough money to buy the house. What we do is we, from the player's info, we say set member. Okay, and then from the break version of it, like right here, we get the house player money. We remove however much the house costs, and then we reset the player's money to whatever the return value is. So if I have 200,000 and the house costs 100,000, this will return 100,000 because I just remove 100,000 from it. Okay, and then we set it here. And then we also, from the house, we set member. We set, now since we are the one who purchased the house, now we set the owner of the house to ourselves, and then we also set has owner to true, and this correlate to this right here. So now whenever somebody comes in here, if we don't have any, if this is true, it won't even show the widget anymore because we already have the owner. But what I'm going to do is, soon as we purchase the house, we're gonna remove this so that way nobody can even come back to it to interact with it again. Okay, so let me show you. So now this is the client, and this is the server, right? So if the client go over here and then buy the house, if he return, you are the owner, you see? So if this guy try to buy it, nothing. He's not seeing anything. He can't even interact with it. Okay? But what I'm going to do, soon as I purchase this house, I'm just gonna remove it. So that way he don't even get the option to come here and see E to interact. Okay? And I promise you guys, this is the only complicated part of this whole entire thing that I'm doing so far. I don't know if in the future the other stuff that I add, if it's gonna be complicated, but as far as right now, this is the only one that's like so complicated. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. If you need to pause the video to watch this, do it, pause the video. But let me slide over on it for a little bit so that way you can see. Okay, if you want to pause the video to check it, pause the video. Okay, and then the buy house is like that. Make sure this is multicast. If I make it pure reliable. Okay, so thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.